awkward beginning, as always. There's a really weird light going off on my monitor. Not sure what it means, but it seems like it's recording, so we're just gonna roll with it, and hopefully I don't have to refilm this. Today's video is going to be the 17 random questions tag, and never got to do one of these videos before, so first time for everything. 17 questions didn't seem like too many, so we'll see how quickly I can get through this. I've got them on my phone, so that's what I'm reading off of. So let's just dive right in. I thought this would be a way that you guys could get to know a little bit more about me and what I'm doing and what I'm like and the kind of random things that go in my head. So 17 random questions sounded perfect to me. Anyway, question number 1. How did you get your YouTube username? I've had the username Je suis juste moi for a while. When I first started just like using YouTube in terms of liking videos, saving videos, that's just the name I attached with the account. I've used it on a few other social media accounts. It is my Instagram account, so if you want to follow me on Instagram, it's the same thing, and easy to find me on there. And it just means it's French for I'm just me, basically. And that's kind of been my motto, especially as I went through my 20s and now that I'm in my mid-30s. I'm just me. I am who I am. What you see is what you get. It's a little late for me to change unless I want to change, and I'm certainly not going to change because someone else wants me to, so lessons learned, and yeah, that's just, I've just had that name for a while, so it seemed to also fit well for having a YouTube channel, so I just decided to keep it instead of changing it. So yeah, question number 2. If you could change your name to anything, what would it be? Over the years, I've certainly struggled with the name Andrea. When I was younger, there were no other Andreas. And also I get asked a lot, how do you pronounce it? So I tend to pronounce it Andrea, but you can also pronounce it Andrea, Andrea, Andrea. My typical response to people is, you know, I respond to whatever pronunciation, and it really depends on what part of the world you're from and what language you speak. If I could change my name, I don't know. I've always quite liked Elizabeth, both Queen Elizabeth the First and the Second, but also Elizabeth Bennet. Love Jane Austen, love Pride and Prejudice. I like Catherine. There's a lot of pretty names. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know that I'd really want to change it. I think I'm good with Andrea. But yeah, I guess maybe Elizabeth. We'll go with Elizabeth, or maybe Victoria. I don't know. I'm sensing like a monarch thing, like Queen Elizabeth, Queen Catherine, Queen Victoria. So I don't know. I do tend to like old-fashioned names, so yeah, maybe something a bit more classic and traditional if I had to, but I do like my name. If you could go back in time and give advice to your younger self, what would it be? I always crack up watching YouTubers who are like in their, you know, who are like 20, 21 answer this question. As a 35-year-old, if I could go back to my teen or 20-something-year-old self, advice, oh, I feel like there's so much advice. Maybe that's another video I should do, like advice I would have given to myself when I was younger. I think the biggest thing is kind of related to my username. Just be yourself, be who you are, don't be afraid of that. I was so self-conscious about fitting in and belonging, and part of that was related to growing up in the military, and I moved a lot as a younger kid and into my mid-teens. So by my late teens, you know, graduating high school, going into college, I just so desperately wanted to fit in and I wanted to belong somewhere, and I don't know, I think just be yourself and you'll find where you belong eventually. How old were you when you learned to blow your first bubblegum bubble? That is indeed a random question. I don't know, 7, 8, I can't even really remember. Sometime when we were living in Germany, I think. So that would have been between ages 5 and 10. And I don't think I was chewing bubblegum as a 5-year-old. So yeah, we'll say like 8, maybe. Question number 5. What did you want to be when you were little? Definitely not what I'm doing right now. When I was little, I wanted to be everything. I wanted to be a ballerina, an astronaut, a fashion designer, like all at once, like most little kids want. As an older little person, as like a teenager, I was pretty certain I was going to be an actor. And then I kind of switched during college and started focusing more on costume design. And then after costume design, long story short, I eventually ended up in academia. I'm now doing a PhD in English, but I still study fashion. That's a whole other subject. So yeah, when I was little, I did not think I was going to end up an English professor, and that is the direction I'm going in. What do you order at Starbucks? It's funny you should ask that, because I happen to have my Starbucks right here. This is a grande non-fat latte, iced. I do tend to get iced lattes in the summer, or I do like the unsweetened passion tea. When it's really hot and I want to get like an extra large Starbucks drink, but I don't want a billion calories, the passion tea is my go-to. In the winter, I tend to do either a latte or a flat white, or a peppermint tea. So that's Starbucks. I go to Starbucks a lot. I have a bit of a problem. Number 7, what is the one thing that makes you laugh the hardest? I don't know. The one thing? My friends, and I don't mean that in a bad way, I've got some really great funny friends that can always make me smile. My students, same thing. I can be having a really, really rubbish day and be feeling absolutely miserable or have a million stressful things going on, and then I go and teach one of my classes, and one of my students, without fail, will be able to make me just bust up cackling laughter. So yeah, my students and my friends, good people, having good people around. Number 8, if you could play any musical instrument, what would it be and why? I really wish I'd continued with the piano, because I might have gotten pretty decent at it. I tried the flute when I was really little, when I was like in 5th grade. Horrible. It took me 2 months just to get sound out of the dang thing. But I did like the piano. The trouble was, with moving so frequently in the military, we never knew if we could continue piano lessons at the next place that we lived. So that kind of just fell by the wayside. But if I could start playing a musical instrument and start learning again, it would definitely be the piano. And just because it's really pretty, I listen to piano music a lot. I have a lot of just plain instrumental piano music on my iPod that I listen to while I'm reading or studying. So yeah, I like that. Number 9, what is your favorite thing to do when you're upset? A lot of things. I watch movies. I've got some movies that I like. Watching YouTube, just watching one like eyeshadow tutorial after the other can kind of distract me. Listening to music, I find that, so I do struggle with anxiety, as a lot of people do, and as a lot of grad students do. So as a PhD student, like, anxiety is just part of my daily life. So I found that certain songs I can just listen to on repeat, and I don't know, it just kind of puts my brain on a different loop pattern. It's my brain, my thoughts just start to mimic the loop of the music rather than the loop of the negative, anxious thoughts. So yeah, there's certain songs I can tell you if you want to, if someone comments and asks, I can list some out. But yeah, there's a few. There's some by Ed Sheeran, there's some by other people that just seem to work. And so if I'm getting upset or if I'm getting really anxious, I'll put one of those songs on and switch the iPod to repeat song, and just kind of lay down and zone out and listen to that. Number 10, what's your favorite movie? I can't pick. You can't ask a former film student to pick their favorite movie. It's like impossible. And I'm not going to go through like top 10. Favorite movie right now? which is how I tend to answer that question when someone asks me. My favorite movie that like has really stood out in the last couple years. There's a really great film. It's a small British independent film called Forget Me Not with Tobias Menzies, Genevieve O'Reilly, and Gemma Jones. And it's basically about these two people that meet and spend the night kind of walking around London, getting to know each other, possibly falling in love. You need to watch the movie. It's a really little film. No one I talk to has ever heard of it, but I absolutely love it. When I first got the DVD of it, I watched it literally every day for like a week. So like 7 days in a row, and I still watch it quite frequently. I love it. It's one of my favorites. But it's definitely my favorite movie in a long time, that like the most recent one to then crack into the top 10, because I feel like my top 10 tends to not change that frequently, and that was the last film that made me have to adjust my top 10. So yeah, Forget Me Not, check it out. Number 11, what's one food you cannot live without? That's easy, chocolate. 12, what's your favorite dessert? Chocolate, see, answer to question number 11. My favorite dessert would probably be chocolate cake. I'll take chocolate in any form, but as a dessert, like if I'm looking at the dessert menu, if there's a chocolate cake or like a brownie option, that's the one I go for. Favorite pizza topping, that's question number 13. I tend to go for just plain cheese, which is probably pretty boring, but if I had to pick a topping, pepperoni, I guess. Yeah, cheese, pepperoni. I'm pretty simple, pretty basic. Question number 14, would you rather have the superpower to read minds or the superpower to be invisible? I think I would choose invisible. And that's just partly because I don't think I'd want to read minds all the time. I don't think, unless I could have the ability to turn it off, which I guess I'm assuming you would, but I feel like with invisible, you could go into a room and eavesdrop on a conversation, which is almost like reading minds. I feel like reading minds is a bit of an invasion of privacy, but eavesdropping, slightly ethical gray area there, we'll say. So yeah, be invisible. Also, it would be nice to be able to be invisible and to get through places quickly and not have people stop me all the time. So yeah, invisible. I think that'd be kind of cool. Number 15, what did you do for your last birthday? My last birthday was just a couple weeks ago, actually, and I went out on the day of to a book club meeting, which was really cool and really fun. It was for the Arizona Costume Institute. They have a book club, and the book was the new book on Badgley Mischka, the designers. It's called Badgley Mischka, American Glamour, and the book is beautiful. I'm going to do a review for that at some point on this channel. And I just went to the lecture with them today, the day that I'm filming this. I went to a lecture and got to listen to them talk about their career, about the book, about their designs, and then got to meet them and have them sign the book afterwards. So the book club was what I did on my birthday, and then I went out to lunch with a friend, and then I had planned on doing stuff that weekend because my birthday was on a Wednesday, and then Friday I got sick and have been sick for the next couple of weeks until just like a couple days ago I'm finally starting to feel better. So yeah, this birthday, 35, has been an interesting year. Number 16, if you had one personal selfish wish, what would it be? Oh gosh, I don't know. Selfish wish? That I would magically have the money to be able to go spend another few months living in England. I'm desperate to get back there, especially now that it's getting hot. Last year at this time I knew I had like a month before my flight, and this year I don't have any such plans, and the thought of spending all summer in Arizona in triple-digit temperatures, my brain is already melting. So yeah, that would be my selfish wish, to just be able to leave Arizona and go spend the summer in the UK again. And number 17, if you were a Pokemon, what would you be called? What would you look like? I don't even know how to answer that because I'm old and I didn't watch or play Pokemon, whatever it was that you did. It was a cartoon, wasn't it? I don't know. I had younger friends who were into it. I never was. So I don't know. Can't answer that question. I guess the answer is I'm old and I don't know Pokemon, so I don't have an answer. So yeah, that was the 17 random questions tag. That was kind of fun. I hope you enjoyed that. And if you did, thumbs up on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you want more videos. Please leave me comments. I would love to read comments from you guys, what you liked about the video, maybe some of your answers to some of these questions. And yeah, stay tuned for whatever happens next on this channel, because I'm totally flying by the seat of my pants on here. Anyway, have a great day, and I will talk to y'all later. Goodbye.